What is up, you guys? So in today's video, I'm gonna be joined by Janelle, my girlfriend, aka the waifu, and today we're gonna be doing a little review on a recent massage and cupping therapy we had with Thainamic Bodywork. So Thainamic Bodywork, they're located in Claremont Mesa, just off of the 805 on Claremont Mesa Boulevard. Behind the Walmart, or at least in that area. And yeah, we had it done about, was it 3 days ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 days ago, and then as you guys can kind of see, I'm still a little bit marked up in places.
So I don't have any on my arms. My therapist asked me where I wanted to focus on, so mine are mostly on my lower back and my thighs. And for Stitch, he wanted everywhere they could put the cups.
Yeah. Initially, like when she asked me, like, oh, so is there anywhere you want me to like really like focus my massage on? I said, well, yeah, I want you to focus on my neck and my lower back. So my neck, my shoulders, and my lower back, because that's where I carry a lot of stress, obviously from spotting kids and from doing everything that I do. And then when it came to the cupping, kind of the same thing. She asked me, is there a specific place you want me to do it? I said, wherever you want, which ended up being everywhere, as you'll see. So, yeah, so just initial impressions. What was your initial thoughts of like where it was, just like the exterior of the building and all that?
I think being in San Diego is not really a surprise anymore when you come across like an industrial location, because I think I've been to a lot of places located in industrial parks, like where I got my salsa shoes when I was doing salsa and bachata. That was an industrial park, and so it doesn't really come as a surprise to me anymore. However, somebody coming in expecting a very elaborate building, it's an industrial park, so the signage is there. It gives you that that vibe of Thai and masseuse work, but so there's nothing really to expect there when you see it, but when you go in, it's like boom.
Yeah, definitely. Just like you said, from the outside, it's like it's obvious what it is. It's really clear that this isn't like a Thai restaurant. It has that vibe of like, oh, this is like where you want to go to like get like bodywork done. That's the name, Thainamic Bodywork and Relaxation. Which, yeah, continuing off what you were just saying, yeah, when you walk in, just very tranquil, very inviting. Yeah. So, you had your assistant. You had
Jessica.
Yeah, you had Jessica. Yeah, and then I had Noi. So what was your initial impressions, professionalism, all that?
I actually really liked Jessica. I was a little surprised that nobody really said hi to us when we walked in. They just asked if we wanted to use the restroom. But it wasn't until later when I saw you chatting it up with Jessica, I was like, oh, that's why. They're just like, oh, it's Stitch, and just move forward, because the reason why we went to that location was because
Jessica is one of my colleagues. We went to San Diego State together. We both studied kinesiology, but I think she took a different emphasis than me, but we still were in the kinesiology program together. And in addition to doing massage and all that, she's also a taekwondo instructor. So that's kind of how me and her knew each other. So when it came down to looking for places to get things done,
you wanted to support your friend.
yes.
Yeah. And so with Jessica, I really liked her professionalism. Fun fact, if you've never had a Thai massage before and you are female or female representing, there's these little boob holders. And you need to take everything from the top up, off, and you get to keep your underwear on. And I was just like, are those boob holders? And Jessica's like, they're to support the chest because you are facing face down, and so nothing like about it. It was just I was the one who's like, what the hell is that? But you know, as the session progressed, she was very communicative with me, asking me if it was too heavy, too harsh, or you know, too tight. And then I liked her use of like the name of the parts. She's like, oh, do you do stretches for your QL? We're doing your IT bands. We're doing your IT bands and stuff like that. So I kind of appreciated that, letting me know, like, oh, it's my gluteus medius that needs more work, and stuff like that. So I kind of enjoyed that.
And was this your and you've had massage done before, right?
I've had one Thai massage done before, and then I did one deep tissue massage.
So what about cupping? Is this your first time being cupped?
This was my first time getting this type of therapy.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and in my case, this was my first time having all of this done in this kind of setting. I mean, obviously, I've had a massage done, but it wasn't a deep tissue in this type of environment. It was kind of like the little small mall kiosk kind of massage. So yeah, just like you said, you have to strip down, which I kind of expected. But what I did not know was
you got boob holders too.
No. No, but when they tell you, okay, strip down, you're going to be using this sheet to cover you, I didn't know that she meant to take the sheet and cover myself with it, while I was laying down already, and then she was going to come back in. So, strip down, I ended up wrapping it around myself like a towel, so, came back out and I'm good, I'm ready. So she, came back in, she was like, oh, we had to, oh, okay, so... But
you wore it.
Yeah, I wore it. But anyway,
thinking that you're going
in my
to
case,
the shower.
Yeah. So, but anyway, but yeah, she was, I had Noi, which, she did an amazing job. I mean, you guys will see later, how much she actually did to me. But yeah, much like Janel, she asked, is there any role I needed to focus on, which just throughout the entire thing, same thing, always kept a line of communication open, is this too much, do you want more, do you want less, is, do you want me to do, do you want me to just massage this area, or do you also want me to stretch you, but unlike Janelle's, she didn't really focus too much on, specific parts, or, anatomy and all that, which, I think the reason why was because, beforehand, me and her had a small chat, what brought you here? So I told her, oh, me and Jessica are friends, we went to school together, I'm a gym teacher, so she probably assumed that I knew what she was doing already, so that's why she didn't really focus on it that much, but, yeah. And when it came to, the cupping, yeah, like I said, this is the first time I've had cupping done, which, for those of you that are considering getting it done, I highly recommend it. At least the one that we had done was the actual suction cups. It wasn't as much as I wanted it to be, the glass ones where they light it on fire. Yeah, as much as I wish it was that one. I have a feeling this was pretty similar. So yeah, they just have little little silicone jaw
with the tubing.
Yeah, with the tubing. So they just push it against you. Which again, fully adjustable, so it's they put it on you and you're oh, that's too much suction, they can loosen it up, or if they put it on and it's oh, I want more. So yeah, which you'll see with me, she was oh, is that too much? I'm do whatever you want to do to me.
Give me all of it.
I want as much blood pulled out of me as I could. Which yeah, yeah, so it was about a 1 hour session, which that hour just went by. I mean, I'm pretty sure I dozed off at some point.
He always dozes off after these kinds of things.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure I dozed off, spaced out for a little bit, but yeah, that hour just went by when it got to when everything was said and done, she was like, all right, all done. I'm gonna go outside, take your time getting dressed. Don't feel like you need a rest, especially considering you've been laying down, you've been massaged, cupped for the last hour, so don't feel like you need to be in a rush.
And they've been and for some of them, when they initially put the cup on you, they will move it around in circles. First of all, they apply coconut oil and silicone mixture on you so it can move around. And so they move it in circles, sometimes in zigzags, sometimes it'll be on one spot and then they'll move it to the other. So it kind of makes sense why they're telling you to take your time getting up, or just be careful when you're getting up, because there's a lot of blood that's just been like stagnant, that's moving around, and you might just get really, really lightheaded.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at one point when I got up, I was like, oh, this is. By the way, I'm a yoga teacher, so Shavasana is like my favorite pose of all time. And so there are times when I'm getting up, I'm like, yes, I'm refreshed. I'm thinking after my cupping therapy was over, that was the most relaxed I've probably been in a really, really long time.
Yeah. So yeah, continuing on that, like, yeah, the thing about the cupping too is that it's like a completely different like direction than normal massage. So obviously when you get normal massage, you're pushing the muscle in, whereas cupping, it's pulling it out. So that's why, especially like with me, like when I like got up, I was like, like even though I felt like a lot like lighter, like I felt a lot like looser, which even now 2-3 days later, like I feel a lot more relaxed in opposed to like how I felt before. Like I said, like I carry a lot of like stress and a lot of tension in my neck and my shoulders. So there'll be times during the day where I have to like check myself, like, oh, tension check, and then I'll have to like relax my shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Was I haven't really had to do that so much like lately, especially, I mean, granted, like you'll see in a minute, I have like all the stuff on me still, so I still have a lot of like spots on me.
And those spots, at first, they're just visual, and I think for some of those spots for both of us, they're actually starting to feel like bruises.
Yeah, in my case, it doesn't really feel like a bruise. It just kind of feels like a really, really, really light sunburn. Like, not so much to where it's like, It's like, kind of just like, okay, it's a little bit, a little bit, a little bit sensitive, but not like painful. Which, again, like, it's a misconception about cupping. People think that, you're gonna be like in pain. Not at all. Like we said, like right after the session, you couldn't feel anything at all. Like, we went out to eat afterwards, everything was fine.
Yeah.
She was like poking at me, like nothing.
Yeah, and I think for me, at least, because before this, I did a session of bar. If you're not familiar with bar, it's ballet Pilates, and due to COVID, we were using these sticks to balance on. And so I did that, and a vinyasa one, but with my instructor. It doesn't feel like a vinyasa one, it feels like a vinyasa 3 sometimes. I did those back to back, and the majority of like the most tender spots are up on my right side. I think today was probably the first time since our cupping session finished that I'm actually kind of feeling it, but that's just because those parts that are really, really tender right now, that's where the majority of the suction is, and for some of those positions, it really required this oblique area. Mm-hmm. So when I was getting out of like a dancer's pose, I was like, ow! Oh my god.
So that was like the post. So then now it's been 2-3 days, so now the part that you guys all want to see, the markings. So I'm gonna start with my arms, which these are probably gonna be like the lightest ones you guys see. So as you guys can kind of see, they look like giant salamis, or as she puts it, they look like pepperonis or a biology slide. So as you can see, it's really darkish red. They started out really light pink, which this is my arm. If you look at the other arm, you can see this side, since this is my non-dominant side, like, she put it in the exact same places. So you can see that despite this arm being the way that it is, this arm not so much, which, if you look at my back...
His back, this is... Oh, God. Now this is where it looks like a biology slide.
Yeah, so a lot of you guys that saw this on my Instagram, this doesn't hold at all. I mean,
it
like
doesn't
I said, it feels like a really light sunburn, but it's like nothing. Like, it's all like superficial.
So one thing that's important to note, like I said, mine were mostly focused on my lower back and to my thighs. Mine aren't as dark as his. Mine's not so bad. So I'll just show a little bit. So this is as dark as it goes for mine. So this is where when I was doing a dancer's pose, it really, really hurt. Thank you. All right. But on this side, it's not really that visible.
Mm-hmm.
So that's important to note. So if you're thinking about doing cupping for the very first time, don't think this is exactly how it's going to look.
So no, like, I was an extreme, like, because, again, because of what I do, because I'm constantly in the gym, because I'm constantly, walking on my calls, I'm on the ground all the time, I'm constantly beating my body up. It only, made sense that, if I'm getting a massage, might as well break everything down so that it may be rebuilt, stronger. So don't think that, I'm gonna get cupped and it's gonna look like this. Like, no. Like, when she was cupping me, I told her, like, put as much suction as you can on it, because I want,
And both of us got cupping sessions on our legs, and our legs are pretty normal. I have one pretty dark one on the back of my left thigh, and Jessica was stating that it's probably that dark because what was it, scar tissue?
Yeah, scar tissue.
Scar tissue was coming up, and so me and her were positing that it may be because I sprained my ankle, my right ankle, I think 4 years ago, and so I think I pulled a tendon.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was in a cast and a boot for a pretty long time. So the scar tissue on my left is, I think we can see it. Is this this is just a very weird pose.
but then it's like, but then, like, again, comparison to mine, how, like, because my right side's dominant, that's why it had a lot more blood in it than my left. Same thing, kind of like with you, how if you look at my right leg, like, how about, like, so if you look at my right leg, like, you can't really tell that I have anything. I mean, kind of just like a giant shadow and stuff being cast, but so if you look at that side, not really so much, versus this side, you can see that it's really, no, it's on this side. So if you look at this side, how it's really faint, because kind of the same thing, this is usually the side that I sprain, like, constantly, is my left side, so you can kind of see that I have really light ones on this side.
And so this one, she's saying it's mainly red because of scar tissue.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, if you look at this leg, this one got it too, but can't see it.
Yeah. And then, so we got all our arms, or at least I did anyway, arms, shoulders, back, legs. They did do a front massage, but, like, they didn't give the option to, I mean, at least not me, I don't know if they asked you, but she didn't give me the option to get my chest cupped, which I think at that point she was probably like, okay, you have, like, enough already. So, but I don't know, maybe next time. Maybe next time I'll say, like, okay, like, since you did my back last time, let's do not so many on my back, and then let's do my chest. Because especially with me, like, when she was doing my front, I noticed there's, like, right heel, like, the front part of my shoulder where my shoulder connects to my pec, like, she was really digging in there, and I could feel, like, those are not, that it's, like, I don't know how long that's been there, but then, like, as she, like, just went at it, I could just feel it just, like, little by little, like, just flatten out, and then...
I didn't get a front massage. There was a part where she asked me to move my legs, and that's where you when I left the room, you overheard me and her talking about stretches to do on my left quad and my right hamstring.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was maneuvering my legs in a certain way and asking me where I felt it, and that's where she was also demonstrating that my gluteus medius, which is right here, needs more stretching. And fun fact, I was putting a lacrosse ball there, as Jessica told me to, and then I maneuvered it to my back, and I asked him, I was like, do I have a bruise there from the cupping? And he goes, yeah, you were putting the ball like right on the bullseye.
Yeah, like as she was like, I was like, wait, give me this. Like, took the ball, and I'm like, hey, was it like right here where it pinched you? She's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, you had the ball literally like dead center in the middle of it. So like, you were hitting it like dead center in the middle of the dot.
So, I know people are going to be concerned with how long these last. It really just depends. Because what Jessica told me, I don't know what was her name? Noi. I don't know what Noi told you, but she said mine can last from a couple days to a couple weeks, so that really just depends. Are you circulating the blood in there, exercise, and especially drinking water, which is why I've been telling you to drink water. Mm-hmm. Especially because right now in San Diego, it's 87 degrees. And keeping that in mind, I just came back from a yoga session outside because of COVID regulations. And so 87 degrees, the sun shone on my face. I had to put my yoga block on my face to block my eyes. So it was hot.
Yeah. Oh, so since we're on the topic, do you want to shout out the studios at all?
The studios that I've been working with?
The one you teach at?
So if you want to come see me teaching yoga, right now I'm at Tranquil Earth Yoga in La Mesa. Chris Smith is a pretty dope ass woman. I would have to say she's just like, honestly, she's just really, really cool. Like, me and her can have like long discussions like, yeah, when you do this, and then you do this, and then everyone's just like, oh yeah. And especially if you take her booty yoga classes, like, she'll be the one. She makes cueing hilarious. It doesn't make you feel like you're in like a, and reach your hand to the sky, reaching for the clouds. She's just like, all right, just shake what your mama gave you, kind of thing. But yeah, I teach there, especially on Saturdays. I do Tranquil Hatha, and then the yoga studio I just came from, because Tranquil Earth right now is closed because Chris is a family business. Her son is going to university in Colorado, so she went to help him move in, and so the studio was closed for time being. So the class I just took is where I got my teacher yoga teacher certification.
I'm rubbing off on you.
Yes. It's Namaste Fitness at the Otai Mall. Mm-hmm. And so my instructor today, Andre, he's the one who trained me. So it was a nice family reunion getting there.
Yeah, and then I'll be putting all the tags and stuff either in the description or somewhere on this video. So yeah, there's that.
Any last things you want to talk about with cupping? What your original thoughts were?
Yeah, that's mostly the reason why I wanted to do this video, is just because like I said, this was the first time I had any of this done to me. So then, like I had a lot of like misconceptions in my head, like, oh, like the whole like, oh, cupping has to be like the glass jaw with file thing. No, it can be that silicone suction cup. Like when you get when you do the suction, it holds. Like initially, yeah, you obviously feel it sucking on you, but then the whole times, well, it was like literally she'd like pop one off, and I was like, oh, that was there this whole time.
Exact right. I forgot. Like I remember it hurting getting there, and then after a bit, she'll take it off, and I go, Oh yeah, I forgot that was there.
Yeah, and then also they have like different sized ones too. That's why it was like she'll like put one on. I'm like, oh, that one's small.
Yeah,
And then
like-
she'll put another one. And I'm
Like
just like, oh, that's
this
a
one is
yeah.
huge. It's like
yeah. So I'm like, oh, that's a big one.
like
Then she'll like pop it off, and then it's just like when you crack your knuckles. It's like just like the sound of it just going like, oh, that's so satisfying.
And the reason why we did the cupping therapy, I have been really sore from yoga, especially with the bar exercises. I couldn't really move my legs up and down pretty well for like leg lifts, and so I was kind of needing like a massage because yoga teacher training, especially with the finals, just back to back to back to back people presenting or cueing, and you're taking those sequences back to back to back. So I think over the course of the weekend I had 11 back-to-back classes, and that's not including the 2 personal classes that I took for myself, one which I taught, and then I think I took my friend Carrie's a bar class beforehand. So I was really, really sore. So the cupping session was really needed. And I got the idea because at Namaste Fitness, I've seen some instructors, shout out to Corrine, she would have like these big cupping marks, and everyone's like, oh my god, I love cupping. And then my YTT sister, Carla, she would say like, oh my god, I love cupping. So I was just like, all right, let's go see what this is about. For Thainamic, they incorporate Thai massage. So just so you know, she is standing on but she has the support of something, and which I didn't mind because I've done Thai before, and I kind of like this one because there were some you've never had Thai, right?
No, that's what I was wondering. Like when she like flipped me over and I was like face up while she was doing me, I was like, I wonder if she's gonna stand on me, which I don't think she did. One, because of time, and then 2, me and her about the same size, so she's probably afraid that she was gonna crush me.
Yeah, and when I've had Thai before, like there was one where literally I was in the full Nelson, like I was like this. She put her arms around, and then she just whipped me around like that.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I was telling her that those ones that she did, well, she had me like cover my ear like this. She like hooked me and then like lifted me like this, and it was just like a zip tie, just.
Oh my gosh! So I genuinely like that mixed together, and I remember both of us like as soon as we walked out, we were just like, show me what you got, show me what you got.
Yeah. Quick, take a picture for my story.
And like I think both of us were just like, hold on, let's both go like this. This was both of us when we left. Let's do that again.
Yeah. So in your opinion, how often, since we've already had it done, when do you think we should go in for a tune-up, so to speak?
It might be a case-by-case basis, because when I was doing my initial research on cupping, it was saying that it's a nice supplementary massage to athleticism. And so me doing yoga and bar all the time, it was really nice to get tune-ups in that area. So especially if you're feeling tight, or you're feeling I think I need some extra circulation, because I didn't mention this earlier, but the benefits that I've noticed since taking a cupping session, I can bend over for a Uttanasana forward fold way better. This part of my hand, whatever this part of the hand is called, it can touch the floor now, and that was pretty awesome. So for us, I think we agreed every other month.
Yeah, every other month, every 3 months. So like I said, case on case basis. Me, just like you were saying, how you needed it just because of everything you were doing. Kind of same thing with me. Especially with how the gyms reopened. How the gyms reopened, and now instead of me having that luxury of being able to finish one class, kind of take a step back, take a deep breath. And you're like, no, it's like now it's like, all right, one class goes out, another class goes in. So it's like I'm finding myself having, so I'm finding that I'm, kind of back to like the pace I was like back when I first started teaching. Where I'm just doing like back-to-back classes, like each class in and out, like doing warm up, cool down, participating in the class itself. So in addition to me, being underneath both the calls for however long, just like reaching up with my neck, especially that's probably why my neck was so messed up too, since I didn't have a creeple.
And quite honestly, when I was doing my massage and she was getting my problem areas, which, not surprised, like my right side was a lot more tender, so it didn't hurt my left side at all. My left side was just like, yo, this is great. My right side was the part where I was like, mother, because it's always been that way for me, and so it was feeling really good. But when you're doing yoga, you have to do your personal practice, and then I've been doing private sessions with some clients, and so I've been doing yoga like pretty regularly, and so sometimes you have to do your own session and you realize, oh shoot, this part needs a little bit of a tune-up, or this needs a little extra love. And I think we can agree, especially because I'm also a high school English teacher. Hey. With COVID, you have to do everything. You have to do the cueing, especially because are all of your classes streamed online too?
Not all of them, but obviously, like in addition to doing the, in-person classes, I also do the Zoom classes, which, again, that in itself is like, different because I don't have that. I mean, I do have that luxury of being able to just kind of, just like now, just kind of like still into the camera and be like, all right, that's good. Or it's like, oh, like, go this way a little bit. Well, it's like I'm having to like demonstrate. So it's like, all right, if you guys look at me, do you guys look like me right now?
Yeah, yeah, I agree because you can walk around. We can walk around as long as we have our face masks on, but we can't do the alignment. I can't look at you and be like, okay, your hips are off. It's easier for me to just stay on my mat and just do the entire thing, cueing throughout. And so it's a lot more work than it should be. But that's just the state of what everything is right now.
Yeah. Alright, so so like we said, so Thainamic, sorry. So Thainamic, Bodywork, Thai massage and cupping. Again, this is what I look like 3 days later. You saw what she looked like 3 days later. Your results may vary. So hopefully this video kind of helped you with some misconceptions you have about the whole Thai massage and cupping process. Hope this encourages you to kind of seek that type of thing if you need it in your life.
Because we were just talking about COVID, they are changing stuff. They are changing the stuff before you get in. Like, I think we got in a good 10 minutes, but we still had to wait and stick because they were prepping the room. And then everyone's wearing face masks. We were wearing face masks. We kept our face masks on. There was hand sanitizer, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And you have to fill out the form saying like, hey, I've not been exposed, or the temperature, symptom stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. So
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too, as you can tell.
I'm not quite sold on getting our own cupping set though, because some of us might get a little too into it than others, depending on where.
Yeah, that's one thing you don't want to come home to. Just like, I'll be back in 5 minutes.
And then like you're just sitting there at the desk with like a cup on your shoulder, like, hey, and they're just like,
well, it's like,
what are you doing?
You know, I was like, babe, why do you have the cups on your forehead? I'm trying to give myself that Krillin look.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, alright, so we're gonna go ahead and just cut off the video there. Thanks again for watching, you guys. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more of Janel, please feel free to comment down below. Our social media links are in the link down below. Again, in addition to being a kick-ass English teacher, she is also an amazing yoga instructor, so please by all means hit her up. And
he falls asleep during Shavasana when I do classes with him.
Yeah, and you guys know that it's like anyway, so yeah, that's all we have for you guys. Again, shout out to Thainamic, Bodywork, and we'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.
Bye.